Clear on the right.
You want me to join the parallel again?
Well, the traffic racetrack is here. So what you have to do is turn to a heading and hold it. So what's your outbound course?
Outbound course
on
is
that hold.
222.
Yeah, we always fly what? What do we fly?
Outbound.
We fly the outbound heading, right? Assuming there's no wind. So all I want you to do is fly the outbound heading.
I just fly to the fix.
No, you don't fly to the fix. You parallel your outbound course when you're going outbound, so you have enough time to make the turn inbound, roll out, and go right inbound. So let's go ahead and go back to 1,200. Trim the airplane for 90 knots, and hold your heading. What's your outbound heading? 222. Beautiful. We always fly headings. Hold your outbound heading, 222. Beautiful aircraft control. Okay, we're going to go outbound for 1 minute, and then what's the next thing we're looking for?
We're going to rejoin the inbound.
Beautiful. Are we going to turn right or are we going to turn left?
Turn left.
Are you sure? Is this a standard holding?
Oh, this is turn right.
Or non-standard holding? Look at your chart. Take a look at your chart. Always back up with your chart. What's your chart? Standard holding or non-standard holding?
It's standard holding.
Standard holding. So standard is right turn or left turn?
Right turn.
Beautiful. We just hit 1 minute. What heading are we going to be turning into?
Reciprocal of 222-042.
Beautiful. How would you look and tell the reciprocal of 042 by one look?
Just look at the bottom of
More precise way to do it.
More precise way?
More precise way to do it. That is correct.
More precise than looking on the bottom here.
Yeah. Look at your GI 106, the Garmin.
Okay.
Remember on the ground we talked about a big triangle and a small triangle. On the Garmin 106, right?
Oh, 106 here. Okay, on a small, on a big triangle.
Your big triangle is set for your inbound course 042, correct?
Right.
But you shoot straight down to the small triangle. What you got?
222.
That's it.
No, but you said what is the inbound? Coming back. The precise it's 042.
Correct. Yeah, so you have to look on top. You are correct. Yeah, I thought you were going, yeah, it's okay. You're good. But basically, a quick look here, you'll tell back and forth if inbound or outbound, just looking at on your GL106. So let's go ahead and keep the turn in to 042. Hold 1,200. Sorry, I was a little confused. I thought we're going out inbound and we're supposed to go out, but it was reversed. But now I can, when I have a
thank you. Not only confusing.
No, nobody's perfect. Hey,
so much information for me, and you're confusing me.
No, it's okay. It's okay. But it's not really the direction as much as telling exactly how to get reciprocal without trying to figure out the math. All you have to do is shoot straight down. You get 222 straight up. Big triangle is on the top of the screen. Small triangle is on the bottom. That's reciprocal. Okay. How do we identify when to turn?
How do we identify that when to turn? we should be lined up.
Pretty much lined up here, and then you can see Masti intersection here.
Masti.
And this needle is almost centered for the VOR from Deer Park. Well, let's go ahead and turn outbound.
Turn outbound?
Yep. What's the heading outbound now?
222.
222. Standard rate turn. To establish the rate, you're going to look at your attitude indicator, and you're going to turn into about 15 to 20 degree rate, and then refer to your turn coordinator after you establish on the turn, and you're going to hold your primary bank instrument on a standard rate turn as what?
At the 2-minute turn.
Yep, turn coordinator. It's called the turn coordinator. We're going to keep the turn in there all the way to 222. You understand? This is just an introduction to a holding pattern. I mean, we talked a little bit about it on the ground, but this is more like actually doing it up in the air. Any questions in regards to this? Or are you pretty...
Many questions right now. I'm concentrating on this because I haven't been...
It's okay. Let's just focus.
Yep.
Now, I don't want you to do too much of it to the point where you're oversaturated. So we're going to do one more turn, and then we'll depart, okay?
Okay, right now I'm on the outbound.
I want you to digest this because it's a lot of information.
So, when I'm on the outbound, I don't have to cross Masti.
No.
What you're saying?
No, you need to be established inbound, not outbound. Outbound,
right now I am outbound.
Outbound, you can be inside your racetrack. Now, assuming there's no wind, you're pretty nice, pattern. When there's wind, it gets more complicated. But again, so I don't want
I have to cross Masti on the inbound, not on the outbound and the holding. Okay.
That is correct. Now, I don't want to complicate it with the wind yet. I want to just kind of let you get the feel for the airplane, all right?
All right, and I'm flying.
Doing a wonderful job. You're holding 1,200, 90 knots. Beautiful. So it's aviate, navigate, and then the last thing is what?
Communicate.
What are you going to say?
Approach Cherokee 2225 Delta on the holding. Right?
Approach 2225 Delta is established on the hold. 1,200. Expect further clearance 00510. Which is what your clearance is.
All right, 1 minute passed on trajectory, and that was parallel.
2225 Delta. I can see you nicely on the hold, holding 1,200. Turn left, heading 200. Maintain 1,500.
Turn
this
left.
Will be radar vectors for the GPS approach, runway 19 Republic.
All right, 2225 Delta, turn left, heading 200. Maintain 1,200. Radar vector to Republic, expect, I forgot what was after that.
Okay, let's do it again. Take your cockpit organization into action. Take a pen out. Have a little board on your lap. The girl on your lap later. Now it's just going to be instrument flying. 2225 Delta, advise on ready to get clearance.
2225 Delta, ready to get clearance.
2225 Delta, turn right, heading 270, maintain 1,500. This will be radar vectors for the GPS approach, runway 19 Republic.
2225, turning right, heading 270, maintain 1,500. Expect vectors to GPS 19 approach at Republic, 2225 Delta.
2225 Delta, readback is correct, right turn at 270. I got traffic off your left-hand side, 10 o'clock, 2000, Southwest 737, landing in Iceland.
And looking for traffic. 25 Delta.
What's so funny, man?
I didn't know whether you wanted me to repeat that or not.
Absolutely.
Did you want me to actually look what 737?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just the way it is. When you're flying IFR, they're gonna give you traffic advisories. Now, there's two things. You can say looking for traffic if you're VFR. What if you're in the clouds? Are you going to be able to see the traffic?
No.
So you just say IMC. 25 Delta is IMC. That means you're in the clouds. Now, it's beautiful night, nice and clear, 10-mile viz. You're VFR, so look for traffic. But you don't have to. This was just practice. 225 Delta left turning 240 for traffic.
25 Delta turning left to 240. No, 240.
Okay, so remember what we talked about going into Brookhaven. Now we're going to be talking about Republic.
Republic.
What's the first thing we need?
First thing I need to set up Republic.
Okay, that wouldn't hurt.
Clear. So let me clear the screen out. Okay. Right, what the? It's not not sure why it won't.
Let's see, menu. Nav. Hold on. Flight plan.
You cancel it?
Let's go here. Clear. 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 Remove master. Yes. Yes. I don't know why it's locked up on the approach. Remove the approach. VR, remove 6 from the flight plan. Yes, okay, now you're cleared up. Now you're gonna go direct. Republic. You gotta get a little bit more comfortable with the Garmin here, okay? There's a free online little program you can actually...
Yeah, not a lot. That's...
I know you don't have much time, but you know, just play with it.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're Direct Republic. What else we need to do for the GPS 19?
GPS 19. RNAV, is that the GPS?
That's right. That's RNAV. RNAV GPS. Did you pull up the approach? Pull out the approach. Always pull out the approach first so you see what's happening, and I'll pull it out for you just to expedite this a little bit. Look here on the approach.
Why it's not
Look here on the approach. See what it says here?
It says load. RNAV GPS.
Yeah, same thing.
Okay.
So RNAV GPS, same thing.
It didn't load. Actually, it did. It says Moira. How come it's not?
Let me see. Yeah, you're in. It's just, you know, it's just out there. Let's see. Procedure. Activate vectors to final. Did you do that?
Yeah.
Okay, you're good then. Approach is loaded. Moyer, you can go here on the flight plan. You can see Moyer, runway 19, and then Deer Park for hold. Everything's loaded up on the 530. You're good.
What is that Deer Park for hold? What is that? That's a missed approach?
Moyer, final approach fix. Runway 19, that's the runway. If you don't see the runway, you're going to Deer Park for hold.
Missed approach, right?
Yeah, correct.
Yeah.
Missed approach and hold, okay? See hold? It says hold. Okay, it's all in there. Right?
Yep.
What else do we have to do when we're doing a GPS approach? We got the approach loaded up. There's a button you have to do on the 530, 430, whatever it is, to tell the machine, hey, I'm not doing a VR approach. I'm doing a GPS approach.
Okay. We want GPS approach.
That's correct.
We want GPS.
Beautiful. CDI. GPS, you see it says green?
Yep.
GPS, it says green. You're gold. What I like to do here on the top, just for situational awareness, what's your final
Why do I,
question?
by the way, need to do this if I'm not following this? I'm just strictly following GPS.
No, you do follow this. This is your primary navigation, because if you have a WAS, this will give you glide slope and localizer, everything like an ILS approach.
But I don't.
It's okay, but you're still going to use this. Okay?
Okay. So
Why would you want to look here if everything's here on the six-pack? You got beautiful six-pack and the nav right by your altimeter and everything. Why would you want to shoot all the way to the right?
So I'm still monitoring the CDI basically, localizer, right?
Absolutely. What's your inbound course?
Inbound course 1930.
1930? No, it's not 1930. It's 193.
1930.
You said 1930. No problem.
It was just like 193.
Beautiful.
All right, the tank.
Should have go ahead and switch tanks. Fuel management. Okay, so looks like we got everything set up for Republic. What I would like to do is a little bit of an approach brief.
Okay.
Remember how we do an approach brief? A little bit familiarization with the approach?
Notice the airman.
Yeah, I have to review
everything.
Tower unlit.
Review everything. I'm going to
south-southwest 168.
I will be
110.
vector to
IFR departures advised. Ground control for taxis at UR IFR. Read back
either
all runway
ZOSAP or
instructions.
Blintz,
Read
I
back
guess.
all runway assignments. Read back all altitude assignments.
I will be vector, right? Usually,
What are vectors today?
Information Oscar.
What am I doing? My management is very bad.
It's okay. You're just starting to get.
Information Oscar. Time 0053 Zulu. Wind 2206. Visibility 10. Ceiling 8,000 overcast. Temperature 1. Dew point -3. Altimeter.
I was sick these days. Maybe that's why I'm all out of
Visual
whack.
approaching use. Landing departing runway 19er. Notice the airman.
Okay, 19er at Oscar.
9er nautical mile.
19er at Oscar.
Oscar. What was the wind?
220 at 8.
220 at 8. Okay.
Turkey 2225 Delta, turn right heading 260, vectors for the GPS 19.
Turning right 260, vectors 19, GPS 19er. 2225 Delta.
Okay, I'll give you a little bit of demonstration of what is an approach briefing. You look on top of the page. We're going to do the RNAV GPS 19 approach to Republic. Our inbound course is 193. Okay, GPS is loaded up on the Garmin. Republic Airport is in there. We have platform altitude at 2,000 at Debbie, then the Moyer 1500 down to our MDA of LNAV only 540. Why is it LNAV and not LPV?
LPV is for the WAS. I don't know.
There you go, beautiful. See over here it says terminal?
Where is it, by the way? Show me.
Right here on the bottom bits.
LPV is left, right, correct.
LPV is on the top.
Right.
Okay. You have LNAV. That's what we're doing. Okay. So you're doing LNAV because you got a 530 with no WAS. If you have WAS, you can do LPV. Okay. So what's your minimums here on the
540.
540. What's the minimum visibility?
460.
This is AGL. What's your minimum visibility? What is 540-1?
1 mile.
Okay, so minimums are MDA 540 and 1 mile visibility. That's your minimums, okay? MSA is 2600 surrounding the runway. You see MSA runway 19, 25 miles. From the runway, you're all the way to 2600. That's your minimum sector altitude. Okay, missed approach. Climb to 2,000, then climbing left turn 3,000 direct Deer Park VOR, DME, and hold.
Yep.
Okay? Now there's a lot of restrictions here. When the glide slope isn't up, circling runway 1, runway 2 is not available at night. When using isolated altimeter setting, you have to use something different. For uncompensated barrel pressure, there's a lot of notes here, okay? Read those notes so you're comfortable with them. Because it happened to me one night I was going into an airport, and it told me on the note, approach not authorized at night.
Wait a minute, they cleared you, but on the notes it says not authorized?
Not authorized, that's correct. So the controller sometimes is not familiar with those notes. So you've got to make sure you read the notes.
Okay.
Happened to me going into Bravo Lima Mike at night. They cleared us for the GPS approach, and I looked at the approach, and it says, GPS approach not authorized at night.
Wow.
So I told the controller, unable to do it. It's not authorized. We'll take the visual approach. It's weird, but you can do a visual approach, but you cannot do a GPS. But you follow your rules. If the chart says not authorized at night for whatever reason, obstacle clears, just don't do it. Turkey 2225 Delta, turn right, aim 330, vector for the approach.
Turning right 330, 2225 Delta.
Now, let's assume you're doing the GPS runway 19er, but the wind is from 100.
Whoa. I will circle to land to 14.
Beautiful. Especially if it's a lot of wind. Let's assume the wind is 15 gusting to 25.
Whoa.
A lot of crossing. What's the minimum crossing component on this?
17 knots.
Beautiful.
Now, I would definitely do circle to land, and my circle to land will be 560 feet.
Yep.
Am I correct?
Yep. So you're a little bit higher on the minimums when you're doing circle.
Okay.
540 for the GPS non-WAS and 560 for the circling approach. Okay? You will have a circling approach on your check ride.
Okay.
So get comfortable with it.
Does that mean I will have to take my goggles off?
Well, he's got to let you do an instrument approach.
Yeah.
At the minimums, he's going to tell you runways in sight, airports in sight, circle land to runway 14, circle land to another runway. So you're just going to do your circling. Do not descend below your MDA before you're in a normal position to land. So keep circling, stay at your MDA, look outside, you got nice visual, you can descend normally to the runway, then you can descend. But if you don't have a normal descent profile, do not go below your minimums.
Okay.
2225 Delta, descend and maintain 1,000 feet.
Descend and maintain 1,000 feet, 2225 Delta.
Yeah, we're practicing this VFR, so I want to, kind of enter at the proper altitude, so. Now, let's assume the winds are calm right now. Okay?
Okay.
And you're low on fuel, and you're doing an IFR flight, and you're very comfortable with the airport environment. You've been flying out of it and into this airport for 20 years. You know the ground reference, you know everything. They're going to send you all the way to 19, take you all the way to the north. It's going to take you another 15, 20 minutes to follow behind traffic. Winds are calm, okay? What can you do if you have at least 1.5 miles visibility?
I will ask for the contact approach runway 1.
Why runway 1?
Winds are calm.
Yep. Would you think runway 32 is going to be a little quicker?
Oh, right now, if we're right now the same heading, yes. Runway 32 would definitely make sense.
What's the minimums you need to request a contact approach?
1.5 mile visibility.
1.5 or less than that for contact approach?
Contact approach, 1 mile visibility.
1 mile visibility.
158 is ready for
By the way, do we need to speak to them? That's okay, I'll give them a call. It's good.
So, 43158 Republic Tower, runway 19.
So,
Takeoff. Swift takeoff.
you need minimum 1 mile visibility. What else you need?
1 mile visibility, the ceilings, minimum, but minimum ceilings is still the same.
Yeah, ceiling is okay. Ceiling is no big deal. What else do you need for a contact approach? The name implies contact. What contact we need?
Contact, that's it.
Contact with what?
With tower?
No.
Contact with...
We said we're familiar with the area, we know the ground, we know how to follow the roads, we know how to get to the runway without doing an instrument approach. We can just do a contact approach. What kind of contact do we need?
Well, 1 mile runway visibility.
I'll give you a clue. You need to maintain visual contact with something.
The airport?
No, that's going to follow further, but before the airport. 225 Delta, turn right 8360.
360. So which contact would I...
225 Delta, heading 010 now.
010.
You're on a downwind, sir. Contact is going to mean contact with the ground. You need to have visual contact. You need to be able to follow visually with ground contact. It means you're going to look at the road, you're going to look at everything below to get to your runway. All you need is 1 mile visibility, clear clouds, okay?
So I said 1 mile runway visibility.
1 mile visibility, clear clouds, yeah.
So is it the same thing as a contact?
Contact with the ground. Contact with ground reference. Contact with, whatever is on the ground. That's what the contact means.
Okay. How do I know, though, that this is...
You know the area. We said you've been flying in.
How do I know that I have the 1 mile visibility of the runway?
Because the visibility is 1.5 miles, I just said. So you know, oh, there's my house right there. Okay, beautiful. This is Deer Park Avenue. This is 110. I'm going to follow 110 from Amityville. I'm going to go left here, Southern State, blah, blah, blah. That's how you do a contact approach. You're following visual reference with the ground.
Visual reference with the ground.
225 Delta, turn right hand is 040. 040.
Recycling.
So you see what's happening here? We're getting red vectors for 19. It's taking forever.
Yeah.
If we would have taken a contact approach runway 32, you think we would have been aground by now?
We would have been taxiing back to...
That's right. Okay. So this is a good reason, okay, why you want to do a contact approach. It's very rare. Very few pilots ask for it. I asked for it 5 times, maybe 4 times in my life.
This is because you need to know, usually you would do this in your home base airport.
Home base airport, you're very familiar, you know what's going on, and you want to expedite the arrival. You lower fuel, whatever reason, Now, can you do a contact approach if you're VFR?
No, you are VFR.
No, if you're VFR, can you do a contact approach?
It's the same thing.
225 Delta left turn, 8330.
How do you do contact approach VFR? No, you cannot ask because you're VFR.
Beautiful. What do you need to do or be at before you can get a contact approach?
You need to be... Say that again?
What do you need to be at when you're requesting a contact approach?
In the IMC.
You need to be, not IMC, but some kind of rules.
Yeah, IFR.
Yeah, you need to be on the instrument flight rules. You got to have an IFR flight plan. You can't just get a contact approach, okay?
Right.
So let's assume you're coming in VFR, the airport shuts down on you, you're down to 1.5 mile visibility, you can still see the ground, you need a contact approach. What do you need to do?
File a flight plan?
Yeah, absolutely. Get on with flight service, souls on board, all that good stuff, man.
So, again, you're flying VFR, you get into the IMC conditions, you can't land VFR. You, number one, need to file a IFR flight plan, correct? Right? No matter how close you are to the airport, you have to call up, dial up FSS.
Yep, 22.2, Deer Park, New York traffic, New York Unicom, Cherokee, blah, blah, blah. VFR at this time, 10 miles north of Republic. Requesting to file IFR flight plan. We have 2 souls on board, 3 hours of gas. We need destinations Republic. We're going to go vectors, direct, you know. You can put requesting contact approach, whatever it is. They'll give you the clearance, contact New York Center, blah, blah, blah. You contact New York Center, 25-7. They'll give you blah, 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 and then you get the contact approach.
And then you ask for contact approach.
That's right. That's why if the weather is
all this while you can actually do this.
All this while you're looking outside, and looking at the ground, and following, you know, the Northport stacks, blah, blah, blah. Turkey 2225 Delta, left turn heading 270. This will be base leg, sir.
270, I'll be on the base leg, 2225 Delta.
When will you get a visual approach on an IFR flight plan?
Visual approach? Yep. When will I get the visual approach? Wait, there's a contact approach and there's a... visual
approach? There's a visual, yeah, of course. There's a contact approach. We mentioned contact.
There's a radar approach.
Yeah, there's a radar too. We mentioned contact approach you have to request. Visual approach, do you have to request?
You have to request as well.
No, they can assign visual. They can assign visual as long as they have, you know, visibility 3 miles. They can give you, you know,
when you're in the VFR conditions.
Yeah, if it's VFR 3 mile visibility, they can say 2225 Delta, expect a visual approach runway 19. If you're on an IFR flight plan, okay.
You can ask for it too. Can you?
Yeah, they may say 2225 Delta, say type of request, type of approach requested. You can say 2225 Delta, request a visual approach 19. You know, whatever it is. All right, let me give them a call. We're getting close.
Good.
Good evening, Republic 2225 Delta is 6 miles to the north. Information, Oscar landing.
2225 Delta, your Cherokee.
Affirmative.
25 Delta, make straight in, runway 19.
Straight in, 19er, 25 Delta, thank you. Okay, straight in, beautiful.
We were right here. We didn't bust a D?
No, I kept vectoring you beautifully right around Delta. 2225 Delta, turn left, heading up 210, maintain 1,200 till established on the final approach course. You're clear, GPS approach runway 19. Contact tower 118.8. So long.
Roger that, 2225 Delta.
It's gonna come at you, okay? Not during your check ride. The examiner's gonna be super cool, but when you get out there and file a flight plan and go to Charlotte, Class Bravo, or some like ridiculous busy airport, it's gonna be pretty busy. Triple 25 Delta heading 230 to join.
230 to join. I should be actually following the...
Yeah, of course. That's why you got that needle in there. You can get that a little...
Now, when I get to more...
Delta, runway 19, clear to land, wind 210 5.
Clear to land, 19er, 2225 Delta.
All right, my minimum descent altitude should be MDA 520 feet.
520. When can we descend?
Once I pass Moira.
Beautiful. Clear to your land. You're clear to land runway 19.
By the way, alright, I'm following this. This is not set up to this. Alright.
This airplane flies really nice.
Alright, I believe I passed Moira right now. So, we'll be descending to...
Approach Cherokee 43158, request frequency change. Cherokee 158 approved.
Whatever happened to my... it was set up for the GPS and...
yeah, it's already in there.
Yeah, but it's not giving me a countdown.
It's giving you a beautiful countdown. Look, where? 3.26 from runway 19.
Oh, okay.
Everything's in there. 3.2 miles from runway 19. Runway 19 is your missed approach point. Now focus. 90 knots. Trim the plane. And look at your instruments. 5 500 feet per minute, 700 feet per minute, right there. Now, we did a mistake in Brookhaven. We went below our minimums. What are our minimums right now?
540.
Let's
And
get to 600. Round it, always round it up. Always round it up. We'll keep you out of trouble.
Round it up.
So what are you targeting? 600? What are you targeting?
600.
Beautiful. 600. And always do your checklist, follow any checklist, landing lights on, fuel pumps on, and I got lights on, everything's good, follow any check complete. Look at here, it says APR. What does APR mean?
APR. No clue.
Approach.
Approach.
Ah, your Garmin got into approach mode. Before that it was terminal. Do you remember terminal?
Yeah.
Terminal is outside. Approach is inside. Okay, you have just reached your minimums and runway is 12 o'clock. Let's land
Oh my God, this
the
is
plane. Imagine that. You're in the clouds, you're doing this approach, you pop right out, and the airport is right in front of you. Isn't that nice? That's
Very
the
nice.
beauty of instrument flying, my friend. That's it. You are clear to land, runway 19. Beautiful, 1 hour flight, exactly what I wanted. Excellent. 1 hour up in the air. He's asking if you're ready for the check ride.
No, man, not even close.
I didn't even respond. You know how to fly this plane really nice. It's just getting those instrument skills. We'll get you in good shape. No problem at all. Very nice. Little bit of crosslink on the right. Tiny bit of crosslink on the right. Not much. Oh, nice. Delta. Look at you. Man, that's a short one. 25 Delta going to Charlie, right?
Yeah.
25 Delta going to Charlie, right?
And Cherokee 25 Delta, taxi left, golf to the ramp.
Left on Golf to the ramp, 25 Delta, thanks sir. Golf to the ramp, Chief.
Oh man, I don't know. It's just forgetting. I mean, so much stuff.
Please, don't get discouraged. You will become an instrument-rated pilot. Do not get discouraged. This was just an introduction of what's it going to be like, so you know what's happening, and I kept you busy. There was no time in this flight you were just chilling. There was 1 hour up in the air. You are completely loaded with information.
So much. It's. I feel like I'm doing the VFR learning. I remember the first couple lessons. Confused a lot of shit.
Watch that airplane there too. Watch that. Yeah, keep an eye on this guy. Let me tell you one thing, okay? When you become an instrument-rated pilot, you're a true professional. Until you become an instrument-rated pilot, you're just a pilot that's going out there on the weekend to go for a little spin when it's nice and sunny. When you become an instrument pilot, you're a true professional. You're able to finesse the flying. You're able to actually fly the airplane solely by reference to the instrument. It's fogged up. You can't even see outside. You can barely see the runway center line. You're able to go into an airport without looking outside all the way till you land and see the runway in front of you. It's a beautiful thing. Okay?